First contact deception. The blue-white orb of Proxima Centauri hung in the viewport like a marble against the black velvet of space. Captain Alina Reyes sipped her synthetic coffee, watching the sunrise creep across the small colony that had been her home for the past 3 years. From this orbital vantage point, the settlement looked insignificant, just a cluster of prefabricated habitats and research stations housing barely 2,000 colonists. "Beautiful morning," commented Lieutenant Kai Chen, sliding into the seat beside her in the observation lounge of Outpost Sentinel, the modest space station that served as humanity's military presence in the system. "Every morning is beautiful when you're watching it from space," Alina replied, setting down her mug. "Status report." Kai handed her a data tablet. "Nothing unusual. Mining operations are proceeding on schedule. Research team reports progress on the terraforming experiments." He hesitated. Though long-range sensors picked up something strange near the heliopause last night. Probably just cosmic background radiation, but the pattern seemed structured. Alina frowned. Humanity had spread to only 3 star systems in the century since developing viable FTL travel, maintaining a deliberately modest interstellar profile. The Sol system remained humanity's heart, while Alpha Centauri hosted their most advanced research facilities. Proxima Centauri was their newest venture, a testing ground for terraforming technologies. "Run a diagnostic on the sensor array," she ordered. "If it persists, notify." The station's alert system blared to life, cutting her off. The synthetic voice of the AI was unnervingly calm. "Unknown vessels detected. Multiple signatures. Configuration matches no known human design." Alina and Kai exchanged a glance that communicated volumes. First contact protocols had been drilled into every space service officer, but the real thing was something else entirely. "Battle stations," Alina commanded, feeling strangely calm as they rushed to the command center. The holographic display showed what the AI had detected. A fleet of 15 vessels had appeared at the edge of the system and was moving inward at alarming speed. The largest was massive, nearly 2 kilometers in length, with an ominous silhouette that reminded Alina of the ancient Earth predator, the manta ray. "They'll reach us in under 30 minutes at current velocity," reported Ensign Rodriguez, her fingers dancing across the tactical console. "Their drive signatures are unlike anything I've seen before." "Open all channels," Alina ordered. "Standard first contact greeting package." Minutes passed with no response. The alien fleet continued its approach, now visible through the viewports as points of light growing steadily brighter. "Captain," Kai said quietly, "protocol suggests we should activate the Sentinel contingency." Alina hesitated. The Sentinel contingency was classified beyond top secret, a measure so extreme that most believed it was theoretical. It would reveal capabilities that humanity had hidden for decades. "Let's wait," she replied. "They may be cautious, not hostile." Her hopes were dashed when the communication system suddenly activated, projecting a holographic image of a being that appeared vaguely insectoid, with multiple compound eyes and an exoskeleton that gleamed like polished obsidian. "Humans of Proxima Centauri." The alien's voice was surprisingly melodic, translated in real time by the station's eye. "I am High Commander Vexkar of the Calvor Imperial Fleet. Your species has been observed and judged inadequate for galactic citizenship. Your territories and resources are hereby claimed for the Empire. Surrender your colony and provide all technological data, or face eradication. You have 1 Earth hour to comply." The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving the command center in stunned silence. "Well," Kai said dryly, "at least we know they're not friendly." Alina's mind raced through options. The station's official armament consisted of point defense lasers and a few missile tubes, enough to handle pirates or minor threats, but nothing that could challenge a fleet of that size. The official armament, that is. "Send an emergency quantum communication to Earth Command," she ordered. "Then stall for time. Request clarification on surrender terms." As her crew carried out her orders, Alina entered her private command chamber and placed her palm on a biometric scanner hidden beneath her desk. A small compartment opened, revealing a quantum-encrypted communication device. She entered a 16-digit code from memory. Authorization: Reyes, Alina NM, Captain, Centene Prime. Authentication code Delta 7, Mamba Echo 29er. Activate protocol Sleeping Giant. The device pulsed once with blue light. Authentication accepted. Protocol Sleeping Giant activated. Countdown: 15 minutes. When Alina returned to the command center, her expression betrayed nothing. Open a channel to the Calvor flagship. High Commander Vexkar appeared again, mandibles twitching in what Alina interpreted as impatience. High Commander, Alina began, forcing a note of deference into her voice. I am Captain Alina Reyes of the Earth Space Service. We are a peaceful research outpost studying terraforming technologies. We have no military value. Perhaps we could discuss. Your time wastes, human, Vexkar interrupted. Our scans show your technological level. Primitive fusion drives. Rudimentary energy weapons. No significant defenses. Your species barely managed to crawl to your neighboring stars, while the Calvor Empire spans 500 worlds across 3 galactic arms. Your hour is reduced to 30 minutes. Decision. Alina allowed herself a small smile. You're making a mistake about us, Commander. Explain, demanded Vexkar, compound eyes glinting. Humans have a saying, don't judge a book by its cover. It means appearances can be deceiving. The alien's translator must have conveyed the meaning, because Vexkar's mandibles clicked rapidly in what might have been amusement. Your primitive metaphors do not impress. Your species' capabilities are known to us. You have barely mastered basic spaceflight. Have we? Alina asked softly. 12 minutes, Lieutenant Chen. Kai nodded, understanding immediately. The alien wouldn't. Vexkar's patience visibly thinned. Your stalling tactics are futile. Perhaps a demonstration is required. He gestured off-screen, and moments later, one of the smaller Calvor vessels fired an energy weapon at an unmanned communications satellite orbiting Proxima Centauri. The satellite exploded in a brief flare of light. That was merely a fraction of our capability, Vexkar stated. Your station would fare no better. Interesting demonstration, Alina replied calmly. Allow me to provide one of my own. 5 minutes, Lieutenant. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across the alien commander's features. What deception is this? No deception, Commander. Just the truth you refuse to see. Alina's voice hardened. Humanity learned long ago that appearing weak while being strong is far superior to appearing strong while being weak. We chose to hide our true capabilities from the galaxy, presenting ourselves as a young, struggling species while we assessed potential threats. A warning tone sounded from the tactical station. Captain, Rodriguez reported, we're detecting massive energy signatures activating throughout the system. Right on schedule, Alina replied. On the holographic display, dozens, no, hundreds, of previously invisible installations revealed themselves. Orbital platforms around Proxima Centauri shimmered as advanced cloaking fields deactivated. Massive defense stations materialized in strategic positions throughout the system. And from the small moon that orbited the planet, bay doors opened to reveal a fleet of sleek warships that dwarfed the Calvor vessels. Vexkar's compound eyes widened in what was clearly shock. Impossible. Our scans detected nothing. Quantum stealth technology, Alina explained. Everything you've seen of human capability has been carefully curated, a facade maintained for centuries while we prepared. Those primitive fusion drives, misdirection, the rudimentary energy weapons, a cover story. As if to punctuate her point, a series of precise energy pulses lanced out from the nearest defense platform, completely disabling the weapon systems of 2 Calvor vessels without destroying them. A warning shot, Alina said. We could have vaporized those ships. The command center of the Calvor flagship was now visibly in chaos, with subordinates rushing to report to their stunned commander. "You deceived us," Vex-Kar hissed. "We protected ourselves," Alina corrected. "Humanity has encountered your kind before. Not Calvor specifically, but empires like yours. Species that mistake technological advancement for the right to dominate. We learned to be cautious." The tactical display showed the human fleet now fully deployed. Hundreds of vessels arranged in a formation that effectively surrounded the Calvor ships. "You wanted war, Commander Vex-Kar," Alina said, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's resolve. "Now we will show you how it's won." The diplomacy of strength. The silence on the Calvor command bridge stretched for several seconds as High Commander Vex-Kar absorbed the suddenly precarious position of his fleet. "These are drones," he finally declared, mandibles clicking rapidly. "Decoys. No species could conceal such military power." Alina smiled thinly. "Test that theory if you wish, Commander. But be aware that what you're seeing is merely the defense contingent for a single colony system, our smallest, newest outpost." As if to emphasize her point, a massive vessel emerged from behind Proxima Centauri's sun, having been concealed by the star's electromagnetic interference. At 8 kilometers long, it dwarfed even the Calvor flagship. Its sleek design spoke of advanced engineering principles, with no visible weapon systems, yet an unmistakable aura of lethality. "The ESS Thermopylae," Alina introduced, "a Titan-class defender. There are 12 more like it in the Sol system alone." Vex-Kar's compound eyes narrowed, obviously calculating odds and finding them increasingly unfavorable. "An impressive display of force, Captain Reyes. Perhaps we have misinterpreted your species' capabilities." "Perhaps," Alina agreed coolly. "And perhaps we should discuss more favorable terms than surrender and eradication." The alien commander's exoskeletal features hardened. "The Calvor do not negotiate from positions of weakness." "Neither do humans," Alina countered. "But we do recognize the value of turning enemies into allies when possible. You're not our first contact with extraterrestrial intelligence, Commander, merely our first with the Calvor. We've learned that diplomacy, even from a position of strength, often yields better long-term results than annihilation." A new figure stepped into the holographic projection beside Alina. Admiral Marcus Chen, his silver-streaked hair and weathered face projecting authority even through the transmission. "High Commander Vex-Kar," Admiral Chen addressed the alien. "I am the Supreme Commander of Earth's Combined Defense Forces. I'm transmitting coordinates for a neutral location where we can discuss terms. You may bring 2 vessels as escort. Any aggressive action will be met with immediate and overwhelming response." Vex-Kar seemed to war with himself before replying. "Agreed. But know that the Calvor Empire spans thousands of light years. This fleet is but a fraction of our power." "As is this colony a fraction of ours," Admiral Chen replied evenly. "Coordinates transmitted. We convene in 6 hours." As the transmission ended, Alina turned to Admiral Chen. "Sir, with respect, are negotiations wise? They came with explicit conquest intentions." Chen's holographic image regarded her thoughtfully. "The Calvor must learn that humanity isn't what they expected, Captain. Better they learn it through words than through the destruction of their fleet. And if they report our true capabilities to their empire," Kai interjected. "Then the truth serves our purpose," Chen replied. "Our strategy of appearing weaker than we are has bought us centuries of preparation time. Perhaps it's time for a new approach with aggressive species like the Calvor." 6 hours later, Alina found herself aboard the Thermopylae in a spacious conference chamber designed specifically for diplomatic meetings. The room featured a circular table with equal positions for all participants, a deliberate choice that conveyed respect while sacrificing no tactical advantages. The Calvor delegation arrived precisely on schedule, Vex-Kar accompanied by 2 subordinates. Up close, the aliens were even more impressive, standing nearly 7 feet tall with iridescent exoskeletons and movements of surprising grace, despite their insectoid appearance. "Welcome aboard the Thermopylae," Admiral Chen greeted them. "Please be seated." Vexcar's compound eyes swept the room, clearly assessing for threats before he sat. "Your deception was impressive, humans. Few species have ever surprised the Calvor." "Not deception," corrected Dr. Amara Okafor, Earth's Secretary of Interstellar Relations, who had arrived via quantum teleportation just minutes before the meeting. "Strategic caution. Humanity emerged from a world of apex predators. We learned early to assess threats before revealing ourselves. A philosophy the Calvor understand," Vexcar admitted, "though we prefer to demonstrate strength openly to deter challenges." "Different evolutionary paths, different strategies," Amara acknowledged. "Now let's discuss how our species can interact going forward." What followed was 3 hours of intense negotiation. Alina watched with fascination as the initial hostility gradually transformed into wary respect. The Calvor, it seemed, valued strength above all. And humanity's strategy of hidden power impressed them more than any display of open military might could have. "Your species bears watching," Vexcar concluded as the talks wound down. "The Calvor Empire acknowledges humanity's territorial claims in this sector. We propose a non-aggression pact and limited cultural exchange." "Acceptable," Admiral Chen agreed, "with the addition of established communication channels to prevent future misunderstandings." As the formalities concluded and the Calvor prepared to depart, Vexcar approached Alina privately. "Captain Rice, a question if permitted." "Of course. The defense system you activated, how long has it been in place?" Alina smiled slightly. "This colony was established 3 years ago, Commander. The defense grid was operational 3 years and 1 day ago." The alien's mandibles clicked in what Alina had come to recognize as reluctant admiration. "Your species prepares thoroughly." "We do," she acknowledged. "Humanity has a complex history of both conflict and cooperation. We hope for the latter but prepare for the former." "A wise approach," Vexcar conceded. "The Calvor will be watching your species with great interest, Captain Reyes." "As we will yours, Commander Vexcar." After the Calvor delegation had departed and their fleet had withdrawn from the system, Alina found herself back in the observation lounge of Outpost Sentinel, watching the now visible defense platforms orbiting against the backdrop of stars. "Do you think they'll honor the agreement?" Kai asked, joining her. Alina considered the question. "I think they'll honor the spirit of it. The Calvor respect strength, and today they learned that appearances can be deceiving. So we maintain the facade for other potential contacts." Admiral Chen's voice came from behind them as he entered the lounge. "No, Lieutenant. The galaxy is changing. More species are venturing into interstellar space. Our strategy must evolve." "Sir," Alina questioned, "for centuries, humanity has hidden its true capabilities, appearing as a fledgling spacefaring species while building our strength in secret," Chen explained. "That approach served us well while we expanded carefully and prepared our defenses. But encounters like today will become more common." "So what's the new strategy?" Kai asked. Chen looked out at the stars, his expression contemplative. "Selective revelation. To peaceful species, we continue cultural and scientific exchange as equals. To those with conquest in mind," he gestured toward where the Calvor fleet had been, "we show them exactly why humanity should not be underestimated." Alina nodded, understanding the wisdom in the approach. Human history was filled with examples of deterrence preventing conflict, showing potential aggressors that the cost of attack would far outweigh any possible benefit. "The Calvor will spread word of what happened here," she observed. "Their empire sounds extensive." "Good," Chen replied simply. "Let them tell others what they discovered. That the unassuming humans with their modest colonies and seemingly limited technology are not what they appear. That beneath the facade lies one of the most advanced military forces in this sector of the galaxy." "And our message?" Alina asked. Admiral Chen's expression hardened slightly. his eyes reflecting the light of distant stars. Simple, Captain. To any species considering Earth or her colonies as conquest targets, you may choose war with humanity. But if you do, we will show you how it's won. As the Admiral departed, Alina remained at the viewport, contemplating the vastness of space and the countless civilizations it might contain. Some would come in peace, others with conquest in mind. Humanity would be ready for both. You know, Kai said thoughtfully, I almost feel sorry for the Calvor. They thought they found an easy target. Elena smiled. An easy target that turned out to be a sleeping giant. Do you think there are others out there, more powerful than even us? Almost certainly, Elena replied. That's why we prepare. That's why we advance. Not for conquest, but for the day we might need every advantage. Beyond the viewport, the stars continued their eternal vigil, indifferent to the dramas played out in their light. Somewhere among them, the Calvor fleet was returning home with tales of the deceptively powerful humans. And somewhere else, perhaps, other eyes were watching, other minds calculating, other species considering whether Earth would be friend or foe. For now, at least one potential enemy had learned the truth behind humanity's careful facade. They had wanted war, and humans had shown them exactly how it would be won.